Hello, everybody. Hello. All right. I am streaming live from a different, you know, whatever this is thing, and I am enjoying it. So just give me 1 second because this is crazy. Am I live now? Fantastic. Okay. So this is what I think is going to happen because I'm using a new system. I'm not actually on Facebook. However, you guys are seeing me on Facebook. And there might be something that says, like, click here to add your profile, to leave me a comment. I actually need you guys to do that, or else I'm not going to be able to see it. So if you could, when you talk to me, there will be some kind, I think, some kind of thing in here that will say, like, leave a message or something like that. And the comments are a whole different ballpark on this new software that I'm using. So I'm doing it so that I can stream in many different places. And I'm excited. Okay. So how do I do that? I'm getting this down. So can you, I know I have people here. Can somebody just tell me hi? Somebody tell me hi, please. And I'm going to show. I'm going to tell you my plan for this upcoming. Um, wait yes. Hey, Kristen. Fantastic. So what I see is a whole different. I'm not on Facebook. This is kind of cool. I'm not on Facebook. I'm on another platform. So I'm glad that I get to see this. That was so sweet. Yay, Brenda. Okay, so I'm going to be live on Facebook, but not technically on Facebook, once a week. Can you guys hear me okay? Do you guys hear me good too through there? This is kind of cool. I'm actually liking it. Hmm, I have a heart. That's even cooler. Okay. So I am using what we call StreamYard, which a lot of people use, and I can go across multiple platforms at the same time. So I can use this for my podcast, and I can also use this on YouTube. So I'm not like stressing myself out, with all of this stuff. So once a week, I'm going to jump online, and it's going to be the Crystal Reiki Center podcast. And then it's also going to be teachings from an energy healer, I think I called it, because I have so much that I want to just share with you guys that I haven't been able to share in the past many, many years because, well, I had my shop open and I was learning, and I think it's now is a good time. I got into energy healing because I had a physical issue. I fell down and I started hearing spirits. And that's how I really got into all of this again. And I think when people go in for energy healing, or they sign up for Reiki, or they sign up for crystal Reiki, or, a Sui Reiki, or if it's Egyptian Reiki, or if it's whatever energy work, I don't think many of us know what we're really getting into. And in all of my sessions, I've wanted to quit a few times. A few times I was like legit freaked out that I wanted just to back up. So I'm going to create a podcast, and this is the first episode, which I'm going to have to obviously trim and cut and make short. But it is called the Crystal Reiki Center podcast. I hope you guys meet with me once a week. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, I don't know how you signed up to leave me comments, but it'll probably prompt you through it to leave me a comment, because I want to answer your questions too. Because we're going to talk about the things that people normally don't talk about, the things that freak me out. And okay, you guys got all of that. I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited. Oh shoot. Okay, cool. Here we go. Goes back. Fantastic. All right. So, for the first episode, right? Welcome to the Crystal Reiki Center podcast. I am your host, Amber Poole. And for this episode, we're going to talk about spirit attachments, but we're also going to talk about the lessons within the spirit attachments. From all of my sessions, from many of my sessions, probably 8 out of 10 times I have a spirit, we call them a hitchhiker, on a person, and it's completely normal. Or maybe your friends come in that have passed over, and your relatives and things like that. But this one day in particular, I had an extraordinary um, occurrence with somebody, and I wanted to share my lessons that I got out of this. So, this is my teachings from spirit and lessons that I have learned from it. And my first lesson was to be the light in the darkness. And number two is to always trust in your spirit guides. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. So, when you come to see an energy healer, or if you came to see me in the past decade, you would know that I always go through the chakras because that's where your energy attachments, as we call them, these hitchhikers, these people, come into our energy field. And one day I had a client come in, and actually, it was done live, it was through a Zoom, and she had an attachment. Now, attachments, spirits can link into you anywhere throughout your chakras. So that's usually where they plug in at. If you have a leak, if you have a tear, if you have something that is not very strong in your energy field, then a person on the other side can actually attach into your weakness. Okay. And she sat there, she was so sweet. We sat there for a session and going through all of her chakras. And I'm like, oh, you know, you have your regular everyday chakras, which are the bottom three. And then you have your heart chakra, which is the bridge. And then you have your upper chakras. So I was going through all of her chakras, and I was telling her about her life and what's going on. And um, she was very, very spiritual. She was a Native American, actually, and she came to see me, but she just kept smiling the whole time. And if you are going to be an energy healer, or if you do this work, here is your first clue about attachments. Spirit attachments, you can always tell that there is a spirit attached by somebody's eyes. So I'm always looking at people's eyes really close and really good. So I can see their soul, because the eyes are the window into into seeing everybody. I mean, your soul, when souls are crossing over, when they're getting ready to leave this world, their eyes look different. When they have a spirit attachment, your eyes look different. You know, like when you say people are possessed or people have things going on, you can always tell by their eyes. So whenever you are with a client, I want you to first look at their eyes, because their eyes are, it's a window to the soul. It will give you a message right away. And you will get familiar with what it's like when people have attachments, and really not good attachments. So I'm with this woman through Zoom, and I'm going up her chakras, and everything looks really good. And then I get into, you know, her third eye, and I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it, right? It's okay. It's okay. And then I got up into her crown chakra. Now, this is the other secret for healers to know, is that your crown chakra is where most of your people are at. And why is that? It's this beautiful gateway, right? Your crown chakra is above your head. It's a beautiful gateway for people on the other side to get a hold of us, to download information. I always say that your information is not really you, right? The things that you hear and the things that you do are not really you. They come from spirit. So it might come from your grandmother who's trying to help you with something, or it can come in, you know, like beautiful ways from your relatives. And I can see all of the deceased loved ones, and I can see your spirit team up in your crown chakra. So I was in her crown chakra, and this was the first time that it was not beautiful. It was not beautiful. And when you say attachments, there's like different levels of attachments. You have people attachments, you have non human things. And that's exactly what I was saying, these non human beings. So they come in as like black crawling creatures. I don't know how else to say that to you. And I was like, oh shit. If there was like a million times, I can probably tell you 10 times that I really wanted to quit my job. This wasn't one of those times that I wanted to quit, but this was one of the times that as an energy healer, you're like, oh, spirit team, you're throwing me something different. You're throwing me something different. What's going on here? So I'm in her crown chakra, and I see these beings, and they're kind of like crawling, and they're definitely not human whatsoever. And you have to learn how to deal with that, right? You have to learn that there are things that are around people that are human, that are not human. And sometimes the non human things can come in from thought forms, right? Thought forms can create energy. And if they are bad, evil enough, they can actually create a living thing, a living energy field around you and up by you. Number two, there's actually bad things out there that do attach. And it can be from your space. It can be from a ritual that you did. It can be, they would come through in like these, if we have a lot of fear, they would come through. So this girl had a lot. Like, I can't even tell you. There was a lot of things. And as being an energy healer, your most dependent thing to do is talk to your guides. All right. So if you do not have a really good relationship with your spirit guides, um, I suggest you guys to get on board and start talking to them and get their name and what they do, and how they can help you and things like that. And as I am in her crown chakra and I'm like, what do we do? There's these things that are not really good. Um, I had one of my spirit team literally throw a net around them. So if you can visualize a net that just grabbed them all and pulled them over. And I in my head, in my, my logical mind, I went, oh, thank goodness. So these beings go to the side. And then I was like, well, what else is going on up there? Because I want to know everything. I have so many questions when I'm in somebody's field. Well, why is it happening? What's around? So I'm in her crown chakra and I don't see anything else. I was like, okay, what do I do with this? And then the most creepiest thing happened. I heard without a doubt um, something right next to me. And it almost like it was this dark whisper, this heavy breathing thing. And it talked to me. And I was like, this is really creepy. But when you're doing this work as an energy healer, you are in between both worlds. You are in the physical world and you're also in the spiritual world. So you're not very present to react. You know what I mean? Like in this field right here. And yet at the same time, you're up working in spirit. So you have one foot in this world and one foot in the other world. And sometimes when we are working, it's not logical. You don't sit there and say, oh, what is happening? Because that would bring you out of this field that you're in. So when I had this being next to me who was disgusting and whispered in my ear, let them go. And that's exactly what I heard. And I was almost in this trance that I was like, okay, whatever you say. And I said, let them go. And then I caught myself and I said, and send them to the light. Now, when you send beings to the light, they don't love it. They don't love it. Okay. They're not like, um, it's more like, oh no, because there goes the majority of my energy, my being. And it was so quick, right? And I think as energy workers, we don't understand how much impact and how much we do within those few seconds. But you have to always go back to your power. You are the creator, and everything that you say, everything that you do creates something in this universe. So when you are saying to the universe, let them go and send them to the light, what the words come out of your mouth, that's what happens every single time in session, every single time. So you have to like stand in your power of your creative force, into your creator energy, and know that things are being taken care of. Know that your spirit team backs you up. Was I in a safe place? I was definitely in a safe place. I still feel like I was in a safe place, even though all of that's gone, right? Now she felt 10 times better. because I was talking to her later and I'm like, did you feel that? What happened on your side? What's going on over there? And she actually came to me because she had these attachments and I didn't see them until I got up into her crown chakra. So, my two lessons that I learned from that day was number one, that I'm still in the light. Like when you let things scare you or startle you, then you're working out a lower vibration or a vibration of fear. So if you're going to do energy healing work and you're going to help other people, you really have to step into your own light. You really have to um, know that you're loved, know that everything is going to be for you and taken care of you. Okay. The way that I learned this lesson was when I was little. There was a spirit being that came out of my closet, and they love to hang out in dark places. And I was in bed one night, and this being came out through my closet and literally was choking me. And I had tears running down my face, and I wanted to call out to my mom and call out to my parents down the hall. And I couldn't. I couldn't speak whatsoever. And the only thing that I could do was pray. So in my head, I started praying for the light to come in. Please, 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 God, come in. I need you to help me. And when I did that, then this being let go. And I saw two light beings. I don't know how to say that to you. They're 4 foot tall, they're white, they're bright. And as soon as they were there, they protected me 100%. And I knew after that day that the light always wins, that we are always protected, that even in the darkness, that there is this beautiful, um, the light will save you. I mean, even when you go and you cross over to the other side, where are you going to go? You want to have your vibration up to speak with the light. So from that day, no matter what has happened in session, even though I mean there are some bad days that I'm like, does this shit really happen? Excuse me, because I only see it in movies, but it does. There's really this stuff really is out there. Um, so I wanted to start the series to let you know that God always has your back. The light always has your back. Source always has your back. And it's up to us to be the creator and work with Source in this together. So be the light in the darkness and always trust in spirit. Always trust in spirit. So I wanted to do these short little, this is actually 17 minutes, these short little shows where you get on and I can tell you my personal teachings from energy healing that we don't really talk about. We talk about, getting together and we're channeling in the light and then we want to make the other person feel better and then that's it. But our work doesn't just stop there. There is so much more to it. And one of the things that you guys will hear me talk about often, unfortunately, is attachments because that's what I had to work with for the past umpteen years while I was doing this. So I am going to get on here. You guys are going to hear some really freaky, crazy stories. And if you ever have any questions for me, just please write in the comments so that I can see it and that I can respond to you. And then it's going to go live in all of the other channels as well. So Joy says, oh, thanks, Stephanie. It was so nice to see you. Joy says, I had something similar happen when I was 7 years old. Good always wins over bad is what I told myself at the time. Thank you for sharing this. Yeah. So I think that's when it really happens because we're so open when we are little, right? We're so open to energy and to everything. And then here comes the darkness, and we can't live in fear. We have to really step into our own power every single time. And when you do, like when I face the fear in front of me, and some days it is scary. I've never come out going, oh my goodness, I'm more frightened than when I came in. Not once, right? There's always something about when you're trusting and having faith that you're going to come out the winner every time. You do. You come out the winner every single time. So I just wanted to, I know a lot of the people that I'm with and a lot of my clients, they're amazing healers and they want to heal other people. They want to help other people. But I just want to tell you that there's more to healing than shining the light that you guys will fall into and you guys will find out. So if I can be of any help and you guys can hear my crazy stories, then I will do it. It takes a lot of me to share information like this with you guys because I'm actually really vulnerable about it. So thank you so much. Kristen said, "Oh, I needed to hear this today. Be the light." Right? So what can we do today? What can we do today to step into our light a little bit more and not allow the creepiness to be around us or to scare us? And I'm going to tell you to number one, get to know your guides. And how do you do that? There's so many ways that you can start making contact with your guides. I always liked to make my team. So that may not be something that a lot of people teach, but that's what I teach. So that when I'm with somebody and we're doing like, psychic work, what do you need right now? Who do you need right now? Do you need protection? Then you're going to meet your gatekeeper. You want to have a gatekeeper nearby. Do you want to work with somebody on relationships or maybe with parenting? Then you call forth that specific energy. It has to be very, very specific. A lot of times, if you just sit there and say, "Oh, spirit guides, come to me," you will have a lot of them and not know why they're here. And then you have to figure out, like one day I had the elders here, then I had some kind of uh, star seed being with me the next day. And I'm like, what do I do with all these people? So I started to be very specific and ask for specific people to come to me. I need a person who's going to protect me. I need a person that I can really trust when I'm in session and talk to every single time. Who has my back? Who is that going to be? And then when you do that, a spirit guide will come to you. Well, what's your name? What exactly do you do? How can I work with you? You're going to start communicating, okay, and get to know these people. A lot of times, if I'm in a client's crown chakra and I ask for their spirit guides, I might see one, I might see two. And then the person is like, well, why do I only have two? How come? Isn't there lots of them? Isn't there tons of angels? Isn't there lots of spirit guides? Well, of course, but are you talking to them? Are you making a relationship with them? So when you are working with spirit, it goes two ways. It's not just about you. It's about you communicating with them, you in gratitude for what they're doing for you, because yes, they can leave and they can switch out. Another being can come in. So you need to make this relationship back and forth. So if you think that when you come to see somebody or a psychic and you're like, well, who's my guides? And you think that you have 50 of them behind you, you probably really don't unless you are starting a relationship with each one of them. So once every few days, pick somebody. Archangel Michael, I want to work with you. What does it feel like for Archangel Michael's energy? Or what does, when you're asking for protection, maybe you see a color, maybe you sense him, maybe, I'll tell you who I work with all the time, and I will do it this way. Saint Germain and the Violet Flame. So powerful, transmutes, energy into the light. And I work with him so much, Saint Germain and Archangel Zachiel together as a team, that they feel different to me. They are like this explosive hotness of flow that comes through. So I set them up all around me before the fires. I set individual fires up before I go into sessions so that things can transmute before they get to me. All right. So I know that I have that. You are creating this whole entire playing field. I don't care if you're using your ancestor and saying, okay, grandma, I need your help today. I need you as one of my spirit guides. If you're not continuing relationship with that person or that being, an angel, whatever it may be, then how can they really have your back when you ask them like one time, hey, well, I just meet Archangel Michael today. Well, have you been talking to him? Have you been in your car driving and saying, Archangel Michael, I need you to protect my kids? Thank you. Thank you. And the other thing that I really like to do with my guides is ceremony and ritual. Because you know what? They need to be blessed too. They're doing so much work for me on the other side that I'm like, what can I do for you? There's some days that I feel bad. I'm like, I ask you guys to come into my life every second. What can I do to say thank you? So I do rituals and I do ceremonies just to thank them for their presence. Thank you for being here. Thank you for, allowing the light to come through every single time that I'm in session. So that is how you're going to start to form, energy or relationships with different beings. Grab a journal. My favorite thing, grab a blank journal. Write down what you need today. Who do you need in your life? What do you need? Tell me, what do you need? You need somebody to help you with your diet? Fine. There is a being for that. I'm telling you. Do you want to talk to, okay, maybe you need to talk to Michael Jackson because obviously you need some good dance moves or you need to learn how to sing. So you're going to call upon Michael Jackson, come in and work with me, and I need to connect in with you. You can do that. You can totally do that, right? And I do know people that do that. So when I'm in their energy field and I'm like, wow, why we got Michael Jackson going on? And they're like, I love Michael Jackson. It's because they are forming a channel with them. You have to have relationship. So get a journal, write down what you need, right? If that's help in whatever area, or maybe you want protection, or maybe you want, like I work with Merlin all the time. Me and Merlin are like tight. So when I say, okay, open up my ears, open up my psychic abilities, he has a certain feeling, he has a certain presence, right? Then I would write that down in my journal. Well, Merlin feels like this, or Merlin is a certain color that comes in when I'm working with him. Or maybe I call on Merlin only when I'm doing my ceremonies, or maybe I call on a different being to help me in my healings. You start to create this team so that when you go into my spirit team and you're like, oh my God, Amber, she has like 75 beings over there and she has animals. I have tons of animals, right? It's because I form relationship. And when you have them with you, then you can create different things in this physical reality that, are so much easier because they're pulling strings into the spiritual world for you. So it always starts with your spirit guides. So if you're going to be an energy healer, I really, really encourage you to get to know them, have communication with them, look for signs. We always look for signs. And you guys, we get so excited when we see license plates or birds. I don't know why, Amanda. What's up with butterflies with you or birds? I just looked at you and your little energy field came in. But it's these connections outside that spirit is talking to us. Spirit is communicating with us. Write it down in your journal. Archangel Michael communicates with me through the license plate number 567. And every time I see 567, that's when I know who is speaking with me. Amanda said it's birds. It's so funny. Your like energy field just like squeezed through really quick. And I was like, what is that? So that is how you're going to do it. And then when you're going to heal somebody and help them, you have your team behind you, have your back. Whew, do you guys have any questions about that? I hope that is helpful. Oh, good. Joy says it's perfectly timed. I love that. And Stephanie said, thank you. This was definitely a message. I need to get to know my guides. Yes. Get to know your guides because that's who's going to help you pull strings over there. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know your guides, then ask for one of your relatives to come through. Here's the thing, though. I always have to have a caveat about my relatives helping me out. Your relatives don't always work in the best interest for you, okay? I don't know how else to say that, but sometimes they work in the best interest of whatever their MO is on the other side. Whereas if I'm talking to an angel who's vibrating at 500,000 vibrations up there, they're going to help with the greater good, with all that is with my soul, right? Connected in with God Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. So your relative might not have that expandancy or might have a connection. And here's the other thing. Sometimes, oh, Lauren Antofermo, I love her. Sometimes, I just heard you say, hi, honey. We didn't say honey. I said honey, but you're saying hi to me, so I like it. Sometimes when you are connecting in with your spirit team, I totally just got sidetracked off of thinking about Lauren. It's so funny. You're talking to your spirit team. Oh, your relatives. Your relatives don't always have your best interest. And you might want to go to somebody else who has a different vibration. Some of your relatives don't actually go into the light. Some of them are earthbound. Some of them didn't want to leave because they wanted to help other people around you. And they don't have the awareness that your soul needs for growth. Does that make sense? Whereas if you're working with a spirit guide, a troll, a fairy, a star seed, whatever it is, they will have a different perspective. So you might want to, yes, you can call on your grandpa or whoever, but you might also want to have different input from somebody of a wider range, if that's the way I want to say it. Okay. She said I did. I heard it in my head. You say hi to me. I was like, yay. So yes, talk to your relatives. I talk to my dad all the time. But I don't go to my dad when I need really big soul advice on healing somebody, because he doesn't have the training in healing. His expertise was in selling, cars, luxurious cars. So if I need to get a new car, guess who I'm going to? I'm going to my deceased father and I'm asking him about a car. But if it's going to be healing, I'm going to call upon another angel who does healing, or a being who does healing work to help me. So just keep that in the back of your mind when some people just like gravitate to one person and that's all they want to hear from. And that's all the information they're going to get. But just remember to keep it, wide open playing field for other beings to work with you and come through. And sometimes it might be an animal. It might be like for me, it was these 4-foot white light beings. Do you want to call that an angel? I don't know. It didn't have wings. But when I asked for an angel to help me that day, it was a 4-foot, the brightest light I've ever seen, and completely helped me and was really, really protective. So don't, close your mind and decide what's going to come in for you. Be open. So if you have somebody who wants to help, with weight loss, and all of a sudden you see, I don't know, a turtle, well, trust it. Just trust it, okay? But the thing for today is my lessons that I was trying to teach. Be the light in the darkness. So know that the darkness can't hurt you if you are the light. If you're standing in your power of love, then it just like releases and let goes. And trust in your spirit guides. Get to know who your spirit guides are. If there's anybody that ever says anything that is not of the light to you, that is not your spirit guide. Okay. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to come on once a week and I'm going to tell you the most, and I can't tell us enough. My experiences are extremely, extremely vulnerable to me. I don't really talk about them. I have kept them inside for a decade. I've had tons of experiences. So I really want to, or I feel like it's the time for me to come on and say, look, when you are healing people, there's stuff that can happen. And I just want you to be aware of it so that you can know how to be the best healer possible. And you're not like scared or you're not in fear or anything like that. And I'm telling you, there are a few times that I personally have wanted to quit and in the middle of session went, are you kidding me? And I turned around to my guides. I'm like, are you kidding me? What is this? What am I supposed to do with this? So I'll be on once a week to share these stories with you. Thank you so much for just coming on and just being with me so that I can just have this platform to talk. All right. Oh, did you hear my kids run upstairs? Then the whole entire neighborhood is over my house. All right. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Joy. Hi, Rita. So nice to see you. Fantastic. And if you guys want readings, I'm going on the radio on Thursday nights. So I'm taking callers. If you guys want to call me in, that way I don't feel so crazy anyway. I'm like, oh, it's my people. And I will see you guys on Thursday. All right. Good night, Lauren. You guys have a great night. Okay. Bye.